Welcome to Auto Mundial, the weekly car news and reviews show. This week we're taking a look at the facelifted 2023 Alpine A110.
With new trim levels and specs to choose from, is this still a Porsche Cayman beater?
We also have Merc's new van-based MPV, plus a new flagship saloon car from Toyota, the 2023 Crown.
And we'll be looking at the revised Morgan Plus 6. It's had some 21st century tech added, but it's still decidedly old school. That's all coming up, but first, the news.
The Mercedes-AMG 1 has broken the Nürburgring lap record. The incredible F1-powered Mercedes hypercar has broken the production road car lap record at the Nordschleife with a time of 6 minutes 35.2 seconds, beating the Porsche 911 GT2 RS Monday Racing. Driven by racing driver Mauro Engel, the AMG 1 set the new record despite multiple damp patches around the track. Complying with road car rules, the time was set on road-legal Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2R tyres with no modifications to the car. A top speed of 210 miles per hour was achieved. 275 AMG 1s are scheduled for production, each with a price tag of £2.5 million.
Saloon cars, particularly affordable ones, are becoming increasingly rare here in the UK. In the past 12 months alone, we've lost the Ford Mondeo, the Toyota Camry, and just recently the Kia Stinger. Over in America, though, it seems there's still plenty of demand for four-door, three-box cars. This is the all-new Toyota Crown, the latest American market saloon taking on the Nissan Maxima and Volkswagen Arteon, with bold coupe styling and an SUV-like driving position. Of course, the Crown has been a mainstay in Toyota's Japanese lineup since 1955, but this is the first American outing for the Crown badge in decades. It replaces the aging Avalon as the brand's flagship saloon, but look closely and you'll realise it isn't quite that simple. The ride height and big wheels look better suited to an SUV, despite the attractive, if somewhat unconventional, four-door body. Of course, we've seen high-riding saloons before from the likes of Volvo and Subaru, but right now there's nothing else that bridges the gap between saloon and SUV quite like the Crown. An all-new model for 2023, the Crown complements its 4x4 features with an all-wheel drive system, further adding to the appeal for buyers who enjoy an outdoorsy lifestyle but don't want a big off-roader. From launch, there are two powertrain options. Entry-level XLE and mid-range limited models come with a 2.5-litre four-cylinder hooked up to a hybrid system with 3 electric motors. Via a CVT transmission, they produce a reasonable 236 horsepower, with the 0 to 60 sprint dealt with in 7.6 seconds. The top-spec Platinum model uses Toyota's new hybrid Max setup. This pairs a 2.4-litre engine with an electric motor on the rear axle, producing a combined 340 horsepower. 0 to 60 takes less than 6 seconds, while the long travel suspension has been tuned for comfort rather than handling prowess. Ensuring its position at the top of the Toyota car lineup, the Crown gets a suitably premium cabin. The fashionable horizontal dashboard architecture looks nice and modern, but the materials on display won't be troubling BMW or Jaguar. The There's plenty of kit though. Even the most basic versions come with electric heated seats, dual zone climate control and ambient lighting. Mid and top spec cars also gain leather seats, a panoramic roof and ventilated front seats. Best of all though is the 12.3-inch infotainment screen that comes as standard on all models. Toyota's latest software is greatly improved from the old system and comes with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. There's a digital instrument cluster and onboard Wi-Fi with USB-C ports and wireless phone charging. High-spec cars also get an 11-speaker JBL sound system, but at $53,000 it is getting into BMW 5 Series territory.
But if you want a smart, eye-catching saloon car, are you better off with this, the new Volkswagen Arteon? The recently updated Arteon is the Passat's angry sibling, with more aggressive styling and a lower coupe-like roofline. But despite the Arteon's good looks, it has always played second fiddle to the cheaper, more practical Passat. Now, VW has added some versatility to the lineup with the Arteon shooting brake. Unlike the saloon version, it retains a flatter roofline for more headroom and a bigger boot. In fact, with the parcel shelf removed and rear seats folded, it isn't far off a Passat estate with over 1,600 litres of space. The interior has also received some minor updates. There are some new wood veneers available, and all cars now come with at least part leather upholstery. Prices start from $43,000, a bit more than the Toyota, but the Arteon really does feel like a premium car. To our eye at least, it looks better too. We love that Toyota has gone bold with the crown, but the Arteon coupe silhouette is low, squat, and the body looks far more svelte than the chunky Toyota.
The Crown is a real departure for Toyota, and we love to see them offering something a bit different from the pleasant but ultimately rather dull Avalon. Whether it catches on, though, remains to be seen. The first customer deliveries are due for the first half of next year, with prices starting at $41,000.
The Mercedes V-Class has long been one of the most desirable MPVs on the market. It may be based on a van, but when filled with reclining seats and S-Class gadgets, it becomes one of the nicest ways to be shuttled to and from an airport. There's even a congestion charge busting electric one, meaning the V-Class is still as popular as ever. Now though, Merc has a new, more compact alternative, the T-Class. Replacing the old Citan, the T-Class is a small van-based MPV rivaling the likes of the VW Caddy and Ford Tourneo Connect. But while those two offer an affordable way to carry 7 people in a van, Mercedes is pitching the T-Class as an altogether more premium alternative. Even without a 3-pointed star in the front, it would be easy to make this out as a very posh MPV. The clean lines and modern lights do a good job of distracting from its van proportions. It's dressed up from its commercial sibling with fancier paint and trim options, as well as diamond-cut alloy wheels. It does retain these sliding doors though, making this a very handy car for loading and unloading in tight spaces. At the back, the T-Class is available with either a hatch or 2 asymmetric barn doors. Step inside and its commercial vehicle roots are abundantly obvious. There's no vast panel of screens here, and there's an awful lot of textured plastic on show. It's not exactly an S-Class then, but it is available with man-made leather and various other creature comforts. There's a modestly sized infotainment system which does look a little last gen, some fancy ambient lighting and those familiar turbine air vents. The key to this car's appeal though is its practicality. There's loads of space for all passengers thanks to the high roofline. From launch, the T-Class will be offered with 5 seats only, but Merc has confirmed a longer wheelbase 7-seater will arrive later this year. And while rivals like the VW Caddy require you to remove the back seats for extra cargo space, in the Mercedes you can simply fold the rear bench into the floor. Under the bonnet, the T-Class is offered with a choice of 2 petrol and 2 diesel engines, all with front-wheel drive. The range starts with the 94 brake horsepower 160D and tops out with the 129 brake horsepower 180. Unsurprisingly, with figures like that, acceleration is best described as steady, with the fastest version hitting 62 from rest in 13.2 seconds. It is based on a van though, so we can't expect much more. If you do want more speed though, there's an electric version on the way next year.
Join us again after the break as we take a look at the latest sports car from Morgan and Alpine.
Coming up, a truly modern Morgan, but first...
The Alpine A110 is one of our favourite sports cars. Its emphasis on lightweight, balance and agility make it one of the very best in its class. Now though, Alpine has been fettling it, adding some new models to the lineup. The regular facelifted A110 is joined by the GT and the S. With more options suiting different drivers, Alpine is hoping they'll steal some of the spotlight away from the Porsche Cayman and the new Lotus Emira. In standard trim, the A110 produces 249 brake horsepower, while the 2 new versions are boosted up to 296 from the same 1.8-litre turbocharged Renault engine. Now, in today's world of 700 horsepower saloons and supercar baiting hatchbacks, that might not sound like a lot. But coupled with the A110's featherweight curb weight, it powers the retro French coupe from 0 to 62 miles per hour in just 4.2 seconds. The top speed is impressive too, 171 miles per hour if you remove the limiter. Starting with the GT model, little is changed on the styling front. It retains the Alpine's gorgeous proportions and 60s styling details, inspired by the original A110 that went on to cement the brand as a rallying icon. The GT, as its name suggests, is designed to be a more luxurious touring model for those looking to enjoy long drives in their A110. On top of the standard car's new revisions, including a vastly improved infotainment system, the GT comes with some bespoke leather seats designed with comfort in mind. Parking sensors and a rear-view camera are added, as well as a premium focal audio system.
The S model is easier to distinguish. Seen here in lurid fire orange, the S is engineered primarily to improve the car's on-track ability. The chassis has been extensively gone through with lower, stiffer suspension, revised steering geometry, upgraded anti-roll bars and bigger Brembo brakes. It also gets a fruitier sports exhaust system and 18-inch alloys. Also available is an optional aero pack. This adds a carbon fibre front splitter and a matching rear wing, increasing downforce to keep you planted on the track. To increase grip even further, A110S buyers can spec their car with semi-slick Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tyres. Other options include a set of Sabelt bucket seats and a microfiber pack which coats various bits of the interior in a sporty Alcantara-like material. Both the S and the GT are also available with a carbon fibre roof. A £2,000 option, the carbon roof not only looks the part but saves a whopping 1.9 kilos. Money well spent right there.
However, at a smidge over 60 grand, the A110S is £10,000 more than the standard car, and that is before you start adding the carbon bits. It's also BMW M2 money, and while the German rival can't boast a mid-engine layout or such a modest number on the scales, the new M2 is a practical coupe with a glorious straight six. And then there is the inimitable Porsche Cayman. 60 grand buys you a Cayman S, the highest spec for the four-cylinder model. Again though, it is a fair bit heavier than the diminutive Alpine, and even with 345 bhp on tap, it will struggle to keep up in a 0 to 62 sprint. The Alpine A110 then remains at the top of its game. The GT and S models further broaden its appeal, confirming it as a connoisseur's choice.
Nestled deep within Worcestershire's Malvern Hills lies the factory for a car maker like no other. Morgan has been making sports cars for well over 100 years now, and many of the crafting techniques remain unchanged to this day. In 2020 though, the historic brand reinvented its model lineup with the all-new Plus 4 and Plus 6 models. At the time, Morgan described it as the most revolutionary advancement in the model's history, with only 3% of the parts being carried over from the old one. That might seem odd at first. After all, this so-called new car looks pretty much identical to the original version launched 70 years ago. It also still uses ash in the frame to shape the body, and it's still hand-built by craftsmen in the same shed in Malvern Link. And now for 2023, Morgan has updated it. For a company that's only had a handful of different models in more than 100 years of car building, an update just 2 years after a model's release is unprecedented. Morgan then, weirdly, is keeping up with the times. We say that, but the Plus models still look gloriously old-fashioned. What's lurking beneath the evocative coachwork, however, is anything but. The platform is bonded aluminium, and the engines are from BMW. The Plus 6 shares its motor with the Z4 and Supra no less, and is considerably lighter than both of them. The first updates for the new year are found in the suspension. Morgan wants the new cars to be more refined and compliant. To achieve this, they fitted new dampers and bushes designed to improve ride quality as well as high-speed handling. And to help you stay on the straight and narrow, Morgan has fitted something called stability control. Now, to us that doesn't sound especially high-tech or impressive, but this is the first time a Morgan has ever been fitted with an electronic driving assist, and it can even be adjusted with different driving modes. While hell is freezing over and pigs are flying, Morgan has well and truly entered the 20th century with what can only be described as a safety feature. Behind the beautiful new dashboard, more on that later, Morgan has installed actual airbags, with another one lurking in the steering wheel. A more traditional safety enhancement is the new set of brakes. Developed alongside Continental and AP Racing, the new stoppers complete the technical makeover.
Moving on to the interior and to the aforementioned dashboard. It's now made from superformed aluminium and incorporates a new bigger digital display ahead of the driver. The dials have been redesigned, as has the centre console, which is now available with a variety of different wood veneers. There are also some new fabric trim options with new seats and an optional Sennheiser sound system, all in the name of making the Morgan a usable everyday car. Under the bonnet, things haven't changed. There are still two engine options, the Plus 4's turbocharged 2-litre 4-cylinder, the same one you'll find in the entry-level Toyota Supra, and the Plus 6's meaty 6-cylinder engine, also from BMW. The Plus 4 weighs just over a tonne and produces 255 brake horsepower. As a result, it will manage the 0 to 62 sprint in 5.2 seconds. The Plus 6, though, is something of a departure from Morgan's traditional format. Gone is the V8 of its predecessors, with the BMW Straight 6 taking its place. It makes the same 355 brake horsepower as it does in the Z4 and Supra, and its lightweight means that it's quicker than both of those, hitting 62 from rest in just 4.2 seconds onto a mildly alarming top speed of 165.
The new Morgan Plus models go on sale in January and look set to be future-proofed for another decade.
Join us again next week on Auto Mundial as we take a look at a remarkable new EV, the Genesis GV60.